And then he's like, hey, why aren't they switching? And he, goes and to the shrine and like drink the thing.
See, and that's where I was like, that's where I went, Steins fake? Steins fence? Steins fence? Because once the switching stopped and they started to explain the mechanic, I started thinking about Steins Gate.
Yeah.
And, which to me, and I don't care what you say, don't at me. Fight with your keyboard. I don't care what anyone out there says. It is the greatest time travel show, movie, whatever, ever. And spoiler alert for those who haven't watched Steins Gate, that when it ends, the two love interests, in the same way with this movie, kind of have to I guess, meet each other in a sense.
Yeah.
Because it like none of it ever happened. Like, I mean, it happened, but it the memories have faded, right? At least from one of the parties. And so when they introduced that mechanic here, the first thing I said, he went and said, "I want one more chance," right? And so he drank the sake. The first thing I said was, "So now it's not on different days?" Because originally it's the same day 3 years ago, right? Is that how it's supposed to work? And then they're in lockstep with days, right?
Yeah.
But then when the meteor happened, when everyone in the town dies, presumably when he goes to the shrine and goes back in time, the days aren't in lockstep anymore. So then I'm like, okay, well, are they in the same time but 3 years ago? Does it not matter? Like I ended up having more questions about, is it a multiverse or is it linear? Because to me, this is linear. You know, it's
I don't think, because I don't. Maybe it's not the same date. It's just it just so happens to be 3 years 3 years earlier, because he drinks the thing and he goes back to the date before she dies, before the meteor hits, and then she just wakes up and I guess where the town is destroyed. But I don't think it's the same day though. So I don't think the days match each other. I just think that maybe it's just like,
see, that would, if they didn't match each other, and I was getting sent over, I was like, it's probably Wednesday, but it's Thursday.
I think they weren't trying to get too bogged down, and I know that you won't like this. too bogged down with the nuts and bolts of all the time travel rules.
Yeah. But no, I originally didn't want to watch it. I thought it would be some sad anime, but no, I was actually, this is actually pretty good. It was actually very well done. I was ready to flame it, but I was like, this is actually really good. I just have some mechanics. I think after watching Steins Gate, I cannot watch time travel shows ever again.
No, time travel is really hard to do, because you got to have the rules all have to make sense with each other.
Yeah.
You can't it works one way this time, but it doesn't work this way. Everything has to make sense. But I think for with this one, as I was saying before, it was just they're just trying to meet each other and trying to figure out what the person's name is, and then they think it's the same date and time and same year.
Yeah.
And they realize she's going to go meet him, and he's going to know who she is.
Yeah.
And it was oh God. And it's there's all these failures, and then they see each other on the subway.
Yeah. I'm very forgiving. I'm very forgiving of time travel, though, even though I sound extra critical. I'm actually more forgiving. I would have actually been interested to watch this as a series. It would be interesting if they did this again in 30 years and made it a series. Yeah. But then again, maybe not, because when you start to over-explain things, you kind of ruin it. I'm actually kind of happy they just didn't, because it's a very
especially if you have a movie, it's you can't they really explained it with Mitsuha's grandmother. That was the only time they really just talked about it for a while. It was you better listen now, because they just don't have time to do it. And they're hey, this is how blah 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 blah, and then all the switches start.
Because she apparently time traveled too. She had dreams or something, she said, and I was...
Oh, yeah, I think... Oh, my God.
Yeah. There's a few things where I'm saying it's probably better for the movie that they didn't explain it, but I was interested, well, you had dreams, give me some intel.
Yeah.
But it's probably... Some of the things are just better used as devices to explain to the audience. So I was a bit okay with it, but... yeah, still Steins fence. It's Steins fence.